Hi, everybody. Al Bernstein here with another one of my quick hits. And on this one, I'm going to talk about a boxing match that I think is going to be one of the best of 2017 and will help kickstart this year, which has already gotten a good start. The fight is Carl Frampton versus Leo Santa Cruz, their second fight. It's a rematch of the stirring match they had last year. It will be at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas on Saturday, January 28th. Of course, it will be shown on Showtime. I will be at ringside along with my broadcast mates, Mauro Ronaldo and Paulie Malignaggi, calling the fight, along with Brian Custer and Jim Gray, as we bring you what we think is going to be a terrific matchup. And includes, by the way, another great fight, Mikey Garcia and Dejan Zlaticanin fighting for a vacant lightweight title. It should be a terrific evening of boxing, continuing a great schedule we have on Showtime, which began a few weeks ago with the terrific 168-pound match between Badou Jack and James DeGale that ended in a draw in which two champions poured all their ability and courage into that ring and created a fantastic match. And we expect much the same from Frampton and Santa Cruz. Now, this fight week in Las Vegas is already shown to be an exciting one, and we hope to add a little excitement to it because on Friday, January 27th, the night before the fight, I will be hosting a special pre-fight party sponsored by Corona Extra. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Where you're going to be at the Losers Bar in the MGM, great country bar there. And it's going to go from 6 to 8 p.m. And we're going to have a bunch of different fun activities. First, we are going to show the first fight on the big video screen there. And I'll be introducing it, commenting on it, giving some prizes away in between rounds. And you can relive the first Santa Cruz Frampton fight. And then during that period also, Richard Sloan, the great artist who created the poster for the fight and who is an official artist for the International Boxing Hall of Fame, will be signing and giving away posters to all of you. The first 50 people that come to this event will get a free copy of my book, 30 Years, 30 Undeniable Truths About Boxing, Sports, and TV. So we'll give those out, and then I will sign them afterwards. There's going to be a question and answer period in which you can ask me questions. We're going to have special boxing guests. Some of the boxers are going to come by and some other boxing personalities. So it is going to be a fun party at the Losers Bar at the MGM Grand. You're all invited. Come on over. And again, the first 50 people will get signed copies of my book. So that should help kick off the weekend. Now, the fight itself is going to make the weekend very, very special. And how do we know this? We know it because of the first fight. Let's revisit that first matchup between Carl Frampton and Leo Santa Cruz. Frampton coming over from across the pond, moving up to the featherweight division, stepped in the ring against Leo Santa Cruz with many of the American fans wondering just how well he might fare against the high-volume punching, always aggressive Santa Cruz, who's coming in off a very big win against Abner Mares. Well, we found out early because Carl Frampton got off to a very good start in this fight, working the body of Leo Santa Cruz, counter-punching him very effectively, making Santa Cruz commit and then countering him well, and even showing his power against Leo Santa Cruz. Now, I mentioned Frampton was coming up in weight, but still he had enough pop to hurt Santa Cruz with a left hook pretty early in the fight, and set the tone that Leo was not going to be able to do what he wanted in terms of just coming in and throwing all his big volume of punches. However, as the fight wore on, Santa Cruz started to pick up the pace, and using his distance a little better and his height and reach, he was able to land big right hands and setting them off and setting them up with the jab, and those punches helped keep Carl Frampton on his heels a little bit and helped Santa Cruz climb back into the fight. However, when all was said and done, it would be Carl Frampton who would have his hands raised in victory and would add another belt to his trophy case at home to strap around his waist whenever he feels like it. And it was a big win for Carl Frampton, who, of course, is mentored and managed and promoted by the great Barry McGuigan, another great fighter from Belfast who won the featherweight title many, many years ago. There was some controversy concerning the scoring of this fight. I think many people felt that Frampton had probably won a victory, but the way the scorecards came down, I think, created some questions. We had two scorecards that were pretty lopsided for Carl Frampton, the 117-111 and the 116-112 scores. And then we had a draw, 114-114. Some would argue that maybe none of those scores exactly reflected the fight, though the 116-112 card, I think, probably comes the closest because it seems that with the late comeback, Santa Cruz had made it closer to the 117-111, but not quite as close as a draw. In any case, they will do it again. And let's take a look at the tail of the tape for these two men and show you where they are coming in. The height and reach advantage for Leo Santa Cruz is something that he didn't use very effectively in his first fight against Frampton. He wants to do it more in this fight. And one of the things that he's been working on in his camp is making sure he doesn't overcommit. He understands and has verbalized that Frampton had a great strategy of taking a step back and then countering him once Santa Cruz committed. And Leo Santa Cruz has a habit of kind of lunging in sometimes with his punches. It's Santa Cruz's job in this fight to control the range better and not lunge in with his punches. And he did that a little better in the second part of the fight. So the height and reach that you're seeing there is something that is something that Santa Cruz wants to use a little bit better. This is a match that I think has to be good. The first one was excellent. There is every possibility in my mind the second one could be better because Santa Cruz, who has trained like nobody's business to try and win that title back, understands some of the mistakes he made in the first fight and will try and correct them. Frampton, trained by Shane McGuigan, Barry's son, is a very good fighter at adapting. And he and Shane McGuigan are very good at coming up with the right game plan for fights. So he has a chance now to tweak things and show some new wrinkles to Santa Cruz. And I fully expect that to happen. Now, Frampton has been in Las Vegas training for over 3 weeks, came very early to the United States to train and get acclimated and be comfortable here, which I think is absolutely the right move on his part. And so that, I think, is something that benefits him. So all in all, it's going to be a great night of boxing at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. If you can't be there on Saturday night, please watch us on Showtime. And if you are in Las Vegas and you want to soak in some of the excitement of the fight, a reminder that on Friday evening, Friday rather, January 27th at 6 p.m., between 6 and 8, come on over to the Losers Bar in the MGM Grand, the great country bar there, and we'll have a pre-fight party sponsored by our good friends at Corona Extra, and it's going to include all kinds of fun activities, including the fact that the first 50 people to show up will get signed copies of my book. I'll be on hand all through the evening to take photos and hang out and talk boxing with all of you. We look forward to seeing all of you this weekend for the Leo Santa Cruz, Carl Frampton fight weekend.